All right. Well, what kind of a pain in my back was these ratings this week?
This past week, AEW Dynamite on TBS, August 20th, 2025, 8 to 10:06 p.m. On average, watched by 565,000 viewers.
Oh, good God.
The lowest total viewership for Dynamite since April 23rd. Of course, there was big competition.
There was?
I saw Dave Meltzer quoted the Little League World Series was on.
Oh, come on. What?
The Little League World Series, where the top children baseball player, best team, not the players, but it's the World Series of the best Little League players.
But wait a minute, I can understand the Little League World Series possibly being competition as far as pulling people off the AEW roster, but I can't believe that it would be competition as far as taking viewers away. The Little Leaguers.
Dynamite was number 7 for cable on the night in the key demo. Number 1 was South Park.
Well, that's no surprise either, and it was brilliant. But do you think...
But when's that? That's 10 o'clock, right?
But that's 10 o'clock, so that would have affected the last 6 minutes. But do you think that for once they could have realized, my God, this is a horrible television wrestling program, and just not watched it?
Well, let's see what the quarter numbers tell us, or the quarterly numbers. There's quarters filled with numbers. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. AEW Dynamite, August 20th, 2025 on TBS. Quarter 1, 8 to 8:15 p.m. The Will Ospreay, Death Riders, Jet Speed, Hiroshi Tanahashi live angle, 645,000 viewers.
Okay, so they started way down from where they normally start to begin with. And last week when they got the big pop over 700, didn't they start with 800 and something? So this time people just said, well, hell.
Well, hell continues into quarter 2. 8:15 to 8:30 p.m. Tanahashi and Jet Speed versus the Death Riders with picture-in-picture. The post-match with Bullet Club War Dogs. Oh, that's who those guys are.
Who is that? Who are these people? What are their even individual names? I didn't recognize a goddamn one.
Well, the Bullet Club War Dogs, Will Ospreay, Darby Allin, the Young Bucks, and the Ops. 573,000 viewers.
Wow. So that was slim pickings to begin with, and then they lost another 72,000 people. They have to stay fairly consistent from this point to even make their average.
Well, we go to quarter 3, 8:30 to 8:45 p.m. An ad break. The Adam Copeland Christian Cage Matriarchy live angle. 566,000 viewers.
Oh, good. Edge and Christian reunite as a tag team and lose 7,000 viewers. You can have the greatest talent in the world, and if they go out and they're in the middle of a shit show, you can't overcome that.
Well, we go to quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m. Mark Briscoe's backstage promo, an ad break, Ricochet, the Gates of Agony, and MJF's backstage angle, and the start of FTR versus Brodito. 547,000 viewers.
And there goes another 19,000. And again, they got to get some back to make their average almost, don't they?
Well, let's see what happens here. Quarter 5, the big 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 9:15 p.m.
20-something more minutes of tag team tomfoolery.
The continuation of FTR versus Brodito with 2 rounds of picture-in-picture. 543,000 viewers.
Okay, and at least they're holding them.
Well, the hold continues into quarter 6.
They're holding the lowest number of the show so far.
It may be a stranglehold. 9:15.
They stopped the bleeding.
9:15 to 9:30 p.m. Continuation of FTR versus Brodito. The post-match with the Hurt Syndicate. the Okada Swerve Strickland video,
I missed that, thankfully.
and an ad break. 559,000 viewers.
So they got another 16,000. Well, bless their little pea-picking hearts.
We go to quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. The Adam Page, MJF, Ricochet, Gates of Agony live angle, a.k.a. the attempted murder of Mark Briscoe, an ad break, and then the Page, Ricochet, Gates of Agony backstage angle, 529,000 viewers.
Ooh, and that's where they said, all right, this is ridiculous. And we lost 30,000 and we're only down 116,000 from the start because they started in the toilet already.
And we'll talk about the key demo number in a moment, but here is quarter 8, 9:45 to 10 p.m. A reminder, 6-minute overrun. Athena and Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor and Tony Storm with picture-in-picture. 556,000 viewers.
They got some back.
6-minute overrun, continuation of that match, and the post-match with Persephone, who we previously pronounced as Persephone, and everyone got mad. 560,000 viewers. The key demo number, quarter 1 was 229, and then it was 204, 218, 214, 202, 200, 203, 211, 205. So that is, you'd almost think that's their base cable audience, because that's about as low as that's steady across the board and low.
Well, taking away the first quarter again, because that's never indicative of what the program's going to do. Every quarter from there on out was between 573 and 529. So that's a 44,000 person, 573, 566, 547, 543, 559, 529, 556, and 560. So we said they're down to round about 600,000 people, give or take on the week, that will suffer through this. And that number is every year they lop off about another 100,000. Because when they started, it was 900 and 800 and 700 and 600. Now they're in the fives. We'll see. They've got no more stars. They got nobody they can bring in. Nothing is. There are no dream matches. There's nothing interesting where I'd really like to see the big show with this guy versus this guy.
Every 6 months, they wheel Kenny Omega out. That's a big moment still, and then he disappears again off TV.
And now Osprey again. We have to, because we did so much talking real quick as we close up here. We did so much talking about how he bumbled, not really telling anybody what's the matter with him. Thankfully, they're not going to put the fucking belt on him at Forbidden Door, or that they didn't before now, because now he'll be out for who knows how long with neck surgery from doing a lot of shit that was frankly unnecessary and probably fallen through a lot of furniture. So when they get a star, or they get a guy that can be one of their top guys, or their top guy, either they run him off, he doesn't get along with the other people, or he hurts himself and he runs his own self off, or they book him into goddamn oblivion. And I don't see who's on the horizon that's going to change that. So the WWE, that's why I feel like they've picked now to go here. We can pretty much powderize these sumbitches right now and be on our way and own everything. What are they going to do about it?
They've run out of access to stars, and the stars they have keep going down. Well, that was AEW Dynamite.
It certainly was.